Hey everyone, long time no see. If you haven't guessed already, I gave birth just about 2 months ago to a beautiful baby girl. So this entire time I've been absent on YouTube. I've been in postpartum recovery plus navigating this new chapter in my life as a first-time mother. It's been crazy, but I have to say so far pregnancy was way more wild. But anyways, I wanted to get back into the filming groove, get back into skincare because, long story short, the birth was an emergency C-section, so I did spend a few days in the hospital recovering, and during that time I was not able to move too much and I couldn't do a lot of skincare. When I got back home, my skin was so dull and dehydrated, and I just really delved back into my skincare routine and have been using some extra items here or there. I'm definitely using more than I typically would, but it's been making me happy right now. It makes me feel somewhat normal in this new phase of my life. So with that said, let's get right into the morning skincare routine postpartum edition. Right now, my skin, even though it's typically normal to oily, it's been feeling rather dry, but it still gets easily congested if I use something a bit too rich. I think it's just from not only my hospital stay and not doing a whole lot of skincare, haven't been really eating that well. I had to, long story short, stop lactation, so I don't really have this surge of pregnancy hormones anymore. So I'm not really sure what the full extent of postpartum is supposed to feel like other than being tired. I haven't been eating that great. I've just been so tired to make anything super nutritious, have a nice protein-filled breakfast like I used to. So I've just been kind of eating whatever tickles my fancy. But for skincare, I've just been applying whatever I want whenever I want. Sometimes I do skincare once a day, sometimes never. But today's a day I'm going to do a nice lengthy skincare routine. I'm filming this in March. Winter's pretty much over where I live. Cooler nights here or there, but humidity is for the most part back up. The sun is out. As I go out more, I will probably perspirate more, produce more natural oils, but right now my skin is rather dry, normalish, but I feel like it's looking dull pretty easily. So today's routine is just a lot of hydrating layers. First things first, I'm just going to splash my face with water and wake myself up, even though it is actually 1:54 in the afternoon, but hey, that's when I can get around to my morning skincare routine. And I just splashed my face with cool water just to wake me up at 2 in the afternoon. And I'm lightly patting the excess water off my face, but I'm not going to fully dry my face. If you're a frequent viewer of my channel, you know how it goes. If you're new to my channel, I don't like fully drying out my skin, just so whatever I layer later kind of sinks in better and my skin doesn't fully dry out. It's another way to prevent that dehydrated, tight feeling. First step of my morning skincare routine, I'm going to go in with my vitamin C serum. It should be no surprise that I'm using the Geek and Gorgeous 101 Sea Glow Serum. Love this serum. It has the trifecta of L-ascorbic acid, vitamin E, and ferulic acid. So I take a generous amount from the dropper and apply it all over my face and neck. And when it's the summer months, I actually go to my chest and shoulders. I apply a lot more. Vitamin C is applied. Now I go in with my toner. Sometimes I do toner first and then vitamin C. There is no rhyme or reason other than how I'm feeling. But in this case, the toner I'm using is a little bit more viscous than the vitamin C serum. So I typically like to use the Round Lab Doctor Toner, which is like a slippy water consistency. But today I'm going to be showing you one of the other toners that I purchased last year that I was really curious about. It's fairly similar to the Round Lab Doctor Toner in the sense that it is just like a nice simple hydrating toner with an enzyme to help with gentle exfoliation, which is protease. And it's the Eqqualberry Moisture Barrier Swimming Pool Toner. This one I find ingredients-wise, it's pretty similar to the Doctor Toner, but it does have a bit more viscosity to it. It also has some berry complex. So it provides extra antioxidants from those berry extracts. So for this, I like to apply a generous amount all over face and neck. And I do like layering my hydrating toner about 3 layers total. Even though there is an enzyme exfoliant in this toner, it's super gentle. I don't notice any sensitization on my skin whatsoever. So layering it like this morning and night is not a problem for me. For normal to oily skin types, or for anyone who's really prone to congestion, I personally find to nicely hydrate my skin, to really moisturize it but not congest it with heavy amounts of products, I find going in with light hydrating layers such as a hydrating toner or a lightweight serum really does the trick. Now I'm going to go in with the second serum, and this product I have been testing out for 2 months now with its partnered cream, and that is the Heveblue, Salmon Carrying Centella Ampoule and cream. So I've been using these daily for the past 2 months now since I got back from the hospital, and I'm going to go in with the ampoule right now, just a generous amount. I purchased this because it does contain PDRN, you know, that really popular salmon ingredient. And I will say, after using it consistently for 2 months, it's nicely moisturizing on my skin, but I haven't really noticed anything significant with the ampoule in particular. Like, as you can see, like any hydrating serum, it's providing a glow to my skin. It moisturizes my skin nicely. It's a bit heavier than other hydrating serums, but for the winter months, I like it and it doesn't congest my skin at all. It's not too rich. But in terms of any anti-aging properties, haven't really noticed anything. For the cream, I have noticed that it did a good job at calming down some pimples, like some inflammation around the pimples. If I have the picture still, I'll put them up. So that was a result of overnight use of this cream, which was nice. But for the ampoule in particular, it's just a nice ampoule to moisturize my skin, but nothing to write home about. And as you can see, it provided somewhat of a glow to my skin, sank into the skin nicely, but there's nothing too heavy left over. Before we go into the cream I just showed, I do want to use one more serum, and this is not the correct serum. All right, give me a second. The third serum that I want to use before going in with the cream is a peptide serum. It's from the brand Isana. I believe this is an in-house brand from the drugstore Rossmann in Germany. My friend gifted this to me. So the peptide that's in this is argireline. I believe it's called acetylhexapeptide 8, something like that. It also has collagen in it, and collagen as a molecule in a topical skincare product is just really good at moisturizing the skin. It's not actually adding extra collagen to the skin. It's not that easy, even though a lot of us wish it were. So I started using peptides again, not just because I was gifted the serum, but because I find after on and off use for over half a decade now of peptides, I've noticed they do a really good job at hydrating my skin, and as a result, it really brightens my skin, makes it nice and glowy. Argireline on its own, still questioning its capabilities to diminish the appearance of fine lines, but what I will say is, after I got out of the hospital, like I mentioned, my skin was rather dehydrated and dry, and I noticed the dehydration lines on my forehead were very visible, and they were not going away as easily as they were before from just simply moisturizing my skin. I was really hoping that the Heveblue Salmon Carrying Centella line would do the trick, but not really. So that's where I'm not really impressed with PDRN, at least from these skincare products. But anyways, I reintroduced argireline peptides back into my skincare routine, and I'm not sure if it's argireline in particular. I just know that ever since including a peptide back into my skincare routine, once again, I feel like the dehydration lines on my forehead just look a bit better and less faint. I actually ordered the Geek and Gorgeous Power Peptide Serum just because it has more stuff going on in it, but I will definitely continue using this one until it's done. And how I use this is just all over my face because it is a hydrating serum. For our gerling, you can just do target treatments like on the forehead here, my bunny line, underneath the eyes or around the eyes, and the nasolabial folds. You can just apply our gerling on specific areas of your face where you want to minimize the appearance of fine lines. But for me, I'm just using it as an overall moisturizing, hydrating serum. The last serum has been applied. It sank into my skin really fast, and now I'm going to go in with my moisturizer. Now, typically, I don't really use a moisturizer during the day, but because I want to be a bit extra with my postpartum skincare routine in general, I also want to use this up. Also like the texture of it and how it feels on the skin. I figured, why not? This is the texture of the cream. It reminds me of the snail cream from COSRX. It's very light. It's not heavy at all. And I also find this cream sinks into the skin pretty fast. It actually sinks into the skin so fast that even though I'm applying a pretty generous layer right now, I do find that the moisture fades throughout the day, and when I touch my cheeks, my skin feels soft but dry. In the spring or fall, I'd probably really like that type of finish anyways. But when the season is dry, I do want that moisture to stay on my skin, or the feeling of moisture. So in the future, I'd probably use a bit of a heavier type of cream, maybe go back to using a urea-based moisturizer. But anyways, that is it for the Heveblue Salmon Curing Centella cream. As you can see, made my skin extra glowy. Now I'm going to finish off my morning skincare routine with, you guessed it, a sunscreen, and the one I'm going to be using is the Dr. Ceuracle Cica Regen Waterproof Sun SPF 50 plus PA 4 plus. I didn't feature this in my 2024 favorites, but the more I use it, I'm near the end of this, it really is a lovely sunscreen. So it does have new generation filters. I was surprised to see that it has a Mexerol filter in this, so a L'Oreal exclusive filter. I've actually seen that in other Korean sunscreens. I believe one of the COSRX sunscreens has that as well. So that's rather interesting. But anyways, what I like about this is not only was it advertised with babies, so for those of us that were pregnant, that's kind of why I bought it at the time. I also like that it was waterproof or water resistant, meaning during the summer months or the hotter months, it was going to stay on my skin for a lot longer. I like the size of the tube as well. It is 100 mils as opposed to the standard 50 mils. And of course, like all the other Korean sunscreens, you can apply a generous amount really easily on the skin, and it is just not fussy at all. With this sunscreen in particular, I noticed it had soothing and cooling ingredients in the formula. I even feel a nice cooling sensation on my skin right now. So as you can imagine, during the hotter months, that feeling was definitely welcomed. That is it for my morning skincare routine. Once the sunscreen sets, it will not look this white on my skin. My skin will just look nice, bright, and glowy. And I'm really hoping to find something for my under eyes. If I could add anything extra to my skincare routine right now, it would be some sort of eye cream. As you can see, my under eyes are not looking too great, which is funny because I actually have been getting sleep. Basically, I'm going to sleep when the baby sleeps. So the latest possible time when she goes to bed, she usually wakes up at around 10 or 11, feed her, change her, cuddle her, and then once she goes to sleep, I will go to sleep, and then I have a good 3 to 4 hours until she wakes up again in the middle of the night, then another 3 to 4 hours. So cumulatively, I do get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, but my under eyes are not reflecting that at all. So if you have a recommendation for an eye serum or eye cream, I would love to know what you like. Please leave your recommendation in the comment section down below. Sounds like the little girl woke up. My husband is probably trying to soothe her as we speak. I should go check on her as well. But anyways, that's it for my morning skincare routine. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for my nighttime skincare routine. I'm actually waiting for Geek and Gorgeous's A Game #2 to come in the mail so I can start using some type of retinol again in my nighttime skincare routine. Anyways, I gotta go. See you all soon. Ciao.